Now that Christmas is over, I'm sure a lot of you out there have some money that you're thinking about spending on various things. And one of those things might be the legendary tier IJN cruiser Yoshino in World of Warships Legends. Now, the patch notes for the Holiday 2023 update say that it is, quote, mathematically possible to grind out all 35,000 winter shards you need in order to purchase Yoshino for free. And while it might be, quote, mathematically possible to do that, it is not possible for me. I have done the math. I've calculated how many shards I could grind out for free, and then I've got the difference in shards that I would actually have to purchase, so I know how much it would cost me to buy Yoshino. And for this video, I want to walk you through that math. But before I do, I want you to keep one thing in mind, and that is I am a community contributor for World of Warships Legends, which means I get a lot of benefits from wargaming for free. And those include, sometimes, free premium ships. So a lot of my fleet, well, not a lot of it, I bought a lot of premium ships myself, but a good number of premium ships in my fleet were given to me for free by Wargaming, whereas somebody who isn't a community contributor would have to actually buy those ships themselves or get them out of crates or the like. In any case, how do you go about getting the winter shards you need for Yoshino? There are a couple of ways. The first and most obvious way is to grind out the first win bonuses in certain ships over the duration of the update. Tier 6 premiums, Tier 7 tech trees and premiums, Tier 8 tech trees and premiums, and legendary tier ships all give you a small amount of shards for your first win in them. Tier 6 premiums give you 75 shards, Tier 7 tech trees give you 100, Tier 7 premiums give you 125, Tier 8 tech trees 125, Tier 8 premiums 150, and finally, legendary tier ships 150. Now, I've done the math. I have 46 Tier 6 premiums, I have 45 Tier 7 premiums, 23 Tier 7 tech trees, 8 Tier 8 premiums, 5 Tier 8 tech trees, and 14 legendary tier ships. You take those, multiply them by the shards, I would get 15,300 shards for grinding out the first win bonus in all of my fleet. 15,300. That is less than half the amount you would need for Yoshino, which again is 35,000. But there's still more shards up for free. If you complete every mission in the ongoing Advent calendar that gives you shards, then by the end of that Advent calendar, you will have gotten 6,000 shards. And then in the arena season, which just ended, if you reach the top 1% in that arena season, you could get 8,550 shards. Assuming I did all three of these things, ground out all the ships, did the Advent calendar, and got 1% in arena, that would give me 29,850 shards in total. Now, of course, in order to get to that number, I did calculate the first win bonus on both the Marco Polo and Marlborough, which are in my fleet, but which I wouldn't have if I weren't a CC. So if you take away both of those two ships, assume that everything else in my fleet I bought or earned myself, you could replace those two ships with like 3 Tier 8 tech tree ships that I don't already own, because there are a fair number of those Tier 8 tech trees that I don't own. They're just so expensive. Replace the Marco Polo and Marlborough with those, and I'd still come to around 15,300, give or take a couple hundred shards. So I'd be looking at, in this case specifically, 5,150 more shards to get the Yoshino, because I'd have 29,850 for free if I did all of that stuff. Now, how would I get the remaining 5,150 shards? Well, the best option would be to go to the store and buy one of the gigantic bundles they have with Santa crates. There is a Super Santa Crate bundle in the store that gives you, or I'm sorry, a Mega Santa Crate bundle in the store that gives you 10 mega Santa crates and a bonus of 5,000 shards. This bundle costs 19,000 doubloons. So if I bought it, I would get 5,000 shards even. Now I'd still need 150 more to make up the difference, so I could buy one of the single crate bundles maybe that gives me like 200 shards for the smallest Santa crate bundle, whatever the case is. But either way, I would be spending at least 19,000 doubloons to get this ship. Probably more like 20,000 doubloons, maybe give or take 500 doubloons. Now that is a prohibitively expensive amount of doubloons, honestly. It's maybe not bad for a legendary tier ship, 19,000 doubloons, but it certainly isn't free. When those patch notes say that it's mathematically possible to get the Yoshino for free, I think they're probably telling the truth. It probably is mathematically possible, but in order to do it, you would quite literally need to own every single Tier 6 premium that exists in this game. You'd need to own every single Tier 7 premium that exists in this game, along with every single Tier 7 tech tree, every single Tier 8 tech tree, and every single legendary tier ship. I don't even have all of those. I certainly don't have every single Tier 8 tech tree, and I don't have every single legendary tier ship. I don't even have every single Tier 7 tech tree, because I sold most of the Tier 7 aircraft carriers in order to get the credits I would need to buy a couple of the Tier 8 tech trees. So yeah, I don't even have that. It wouldn't be possible for me to grind out all the shards available on all those first win bonuses because I don't have all the ships for those first win bonuses, and I don't think a lot of other players do either. So no matter what way you spin it, you're probably going to be paying some money for the Yoshino. It would have been much more accurate for the patch notes to say that the Yoshino is the most expensive ship in World of Warships Legends history, because if you're going to buy it outright just by throwing as many doubloons as possible at your screen in order to get the shards by doubloons only, you would have to spend over 100,000 doubloons if you started from zero to get the 35,000 needed to get the Yoshino. I can't remember what the exact number is, but it's over 100,000. So what you're really doing when you grind out these shards for free is you are grinding out a discount on the, I suppose, massively inflated price of this ship, because it would be really expensive to buy it from scratch. So you're grinding out a discount. And then wherever you end up at the end, that's your discount. For me, instead of spending 100,000 doubloons, I could play this game an awful lot, because it would take a long time to grind out all the first wins. It would take a long time to complete the advent calendar, and, of course, the arena gameplay. That would probably take me the entirety of the update, playing for, let's say, maybe 4 hours each day, 3-4 hours, maybe 2 hours, somewhere along those lines. It'd take a lot of gameplay, and then by the end of it, I could spend like 19,000 doubloons to get the Yoshino. Is that worth it? Well, the Yoshino is a fantastic ship. I said that in the first video I made about it, and I still agree with it today. It's a fantastic ship. I really like playing it. I'm glad it's in my port, but it is a little bit sad how prohibitively expensive it truly is to get. For the average player out there who maybe doesn't have as many ships as I do, because they simply haven't bought as many premiums as I have, or they haven't been playing the game for long enough, it's going to be astronomical to get the Yoshino. So I can only say that I hope this ship comes back in the future in some form, either in the Bureau as a researchable project, or maybe another 2 million global XP ship like the Stalingrad. I don't know. But I hope it comes back, because it really is a fantastic ship, and it's kind of a shame that it's so difficult for the average player to get. That's not to say that, it's a totally bad thing. There can be rare ships in this game, but I really don't like the wording of the patch notes where they say it's, quote, mathematically possible to get this thing for free. It may be mathematically possible, but it'd be more accurate to say it is feasible for you to grind out potentially some sort of discount on this ship, because that is closer to the truth. So I hope this video helped you get an idea of how much you would need to spend in order to acquire the Yoshino. I'll put the breakdown on the screen in terms of first win bonuses per ship, the amount you can get from the advent calendar, and the amount from the arena. If you take your ships, multiply them by the first win bonuses, and add up however many shards you can realistically get from the advent calendar and arena, then you can figure out how many shards you would still need to get to buy the Yoshino. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.